What's up, everybody? Hope all of you are doing well. I am back, and I'm going to be doing a movie review for you. Going to be reviewing the 1989 animated film All Dogs Go to Heaven, which is such a favorite of mine. I cannot tell you how many times I watched this growing up. I remember having the VHS way back in the day and watching it quite often. The film has a great cast. You have at least the two big names in this film are Dom DeLuise and Burt Reynolds, who have done movies together. This isn't their first rodeo. Before this, they ended up doing Cannonball Run, and their chemistry, I think, is fantastic in this film. And then you have Judith Barcy, excuse me, who sadly passed away during the filming of this. I think just like the finishing touches to some extent. Um, and for those who may not know the history on that, I will talk about it on this, but I'm sure by now a lot of you who are probably around my age, which is, your late 30s, early 40s, probably know the history on this. But you have Burt Reynolds, who plays Charlie alongside Dom DeLuise's character, who they escape the pound, basically, which in this film is the prison of the film, for dogs. And they're trying to, Charlie wants to get his revenge on his former boss, Carface, which is, a dog version of Scarface and excuse me, and Al Capone. And the story here takes place in 1939. So the era of kind of the mafia, Al Capone, and things like that in some shape or form. But yeah, Charlie wants to go after him, and there's one thing that leads to another that causes Charlie to go to heaven and come back. And he ends up befriending this young girl, voiced by Judith Barcy. Does it say what her name is? I don't think it tells you. Annie Marie or Anne Marie, whatever you want to call her. But yeah, she basically is in, what's the term I'm looking for? Not protection, custody. She is in the custody of Carface and his little henchman. And, Carface is pretty much a douche. And Charlie, ends up meeting her, and at times doesn't really care for her. He has his own scheme, that he plans, but eventually, over time, he does grow a bond with her. Um, and there's, things that do happen, but, don't want to say too much. But it's such I wouldn't say fun movie. It is. It's just a really entertaining animated film, a drama animated film with comedy, of course. Um, for me personally, I feel like this movie is a masterpiece. I mean, it plays with your emotions, with a lot of the characters and the story itself. But what really plays your emotions, once you know the history of this movie, it puts your perspective on this film completely different. So, Judith Barcy, the young actress who voiced Anne Marie, also voiced one of the characters from Land Before Time. I believe she was 10 years old at the time, while they were basically finishing up with this film. She sadly passed away along with her mother. Apparently, her father had killed both the mother and um, the daughter, or unalive. Sometimes you got to be very careful. I think it depends on how you word or state things, but that's basically what happened. Of course, this monster ended up trying to do other things to hide it. Eventually, he was caught. But just the history of this film, knowing that this young actress had the potential of becoming maybe not just a big voice actress, um, but an TV or movie actress, because I do believe she had done stuff on some like sitcoms, like guest appearances and stuff like that. Maybe played a character or two in a couple episodes or whatnot. But yeah, she had so much potential becoming a well-known name. Sadly, excuse me, that was cut short due to her father. I believe it was father or stepfather, something like that, which is sad. And it's interesting looking back now at films that came out, in the 80s and the 70s, realizing that a lot of films had some terrible accidents and things like that. We all know the history of Poltergeist, and it's not just movies; it's TV shows. We've had the '90s as well with Brandon Lee, which I plan to do a video talking about in the near future. But yeah, just it definitely changes your perspective on this movie. For me, it definitely has, but it's still enjoyable. I think the chemistry for between everybody is great. Of course, Don DeLuise and Burt Reynolds are fantastic. It's not their first rodeo, so it's natural. Judith Barcy, her chemistry with the two, I think, is fantastic. And a little interesting fact. So Burt Reynolds was finishing up his lines for the film, and the scene. Well, there's a specific scene in the movie I won't give away. Um, you can tell the tone of his voice is definitely genuine, because she had, I believe, already had done her lines and everything like that. And when it was time for Burt Reynolds to finish up, she had sadly passed. So you do get to hear the real raw emotion of his voice, and bringing almost I guess in a way, a real reality to the character. Um, so yeah, very interesting but sad. Little behind the scenes information. The animation style, I think, is fantastic. That same animation would kind of go throughout some of Don Bluth's films. Don Bluth has had a wide range of animated films, not just All Dogs Go to Heaven. So a lot of the films that he's done, I absolutely enjoy. I need to get those in my collection. Now, All Dogs Go to Heaven is available on both DVD and Blu-ray. I would like to see this on 4K. I think a lot of animated movies need to have a 4K, because I just feel like 4K benefits a lot of animated movies as well as black and white films. But who knows? I'm hoping maybe down the road we will get that. It's just a matter of time. I truly believe this deserves a Criterion release at this point. But the film itself, in some way, was successful because, we would get a sequel, we would get a Christmas Carol version, as well as a TV series. And then, like, a toy line. Well, I wouldn't say more of a toy line, but one fast food joint would release toys. I think it might have been Subway, that would release figures during the time of the sequel. So I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, nonetheless, I wish I could say more about it, but I'm sure by now a lot of you who grew up during that time, the late '80s, have seen this. And if you haven't, I highly recommend you give it a watch. I think you guys will enjoy it. And it's a film for, I feel like, for everybody. Um, you know, maybe a nice little family time, pop the movie in. You have your moments where you're laughing, you have your moments where you'll tear up a little bit, I feel. So yeah, definitely worth it in my opinion. So if you've seen the movie, let me know what your thoughts are on the film down in the description below. If you have not seen this movie, I will put the link to the trailer down in the description so you can check the trailer out and see if it's something that catches your interest. And if you want to find out more information on the film, like, who wrote the script, or, little behind the scene facts and things like that, or who else starred in it, I will put the link to the IMDb page down in the description. And not only that, but I will put a link to my eBay, the awesome things we love. I sell a wide range of things: men's clothing, women's clothing, movies. I have DVDs that I have either upgraded or just don't watch anymore. And if anybody finds an item on my store and purchases it, the funds do come a long way. It helps me to slowly reach my goal of getting back on my feet. I can put towards a vehicle, pay my bills, or it gets invested into the channel so I can get prizes for potential giveaway or equipment to improve the channel in some way. Excuse me. So there's these different things that the funds I make on eBay go towards. So it's always going towards something good. For those who may not know, one of my goals for this year is to get back on my feet after a injury. So yeah, you guys checking out my eBay store and potentially purchasing something goes a long way. Don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Definitely share my video. Get me out there. Get more eyes on the channel itself. And subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I do a wide range of videos, unboxings, collection updates, ranking videos, top 10, top 5 videos, and so much more. So if those are things you're into, then go ahead and do so. But with that being said, I'm Film Talk with Mikey. Till next time, guys, we'll talk films. You guys have a good one. Take care, and I will see you guys next time.